So, as you can tell by the facial hair, I've been holed inside. And what I've been doing is I've been doing a lot of figure drawing practice. I was very intimidated at first with the thought of doing figure drawing, but the very foundation of figure drawing, which is drawing gestures, has me hooked to it. It's so fun, it's so interesting. It has also been the very first thing that has sort of clicked with me to the point where I do not get bored no matter how much gesture drawing I do. So with all the gesture drawing talks in this video, I wanted to sort of talk about my gesture drawing process, my references as well, how far along I believe I've come, and of course we will end by drawing a few cool and iconic gestures in pop culture or in music or also in anime, like whatever we can find. So let's get started. So let's just go through my gesture drawing process really quickly because there's not much that I have to explain here. It's a really simple step. First, let's take a reference. I'll see if I can draw this from my imagination, but if you've ever watched or if you've ever read One Piece, there's a character called Frankie, and one of Frankie's poses is really popular, so let's try to recreate that. My gesture drawing is basically a form of Michael Hampton's gesture drawing where he uses like pinches and stretches. The most important thing to note here is I'm not drawing the outline of the body, it's more the idea, and I will also sort of explain more what I mean by that. But let's get started. Just to give you a rough sketch of what Frankie does in his most famous pose of all time is he puts both of his hands over his head like so. Oops. And then he has like one knee like that and the other leg goes like that. And he yells a super like really loudly. That's what Frankie does. Yeah, maybe I should have drawn it a bit here. Alright, let's do it a bit more in the center, but there's the head and there's the direction of the head. And then what I like to do is I like to draw the spine. That's one. Here's the... And the main thing is like one part of the spine sort of pinches and the other side stretches. That's the basic idea here. So here's the pinch side and then the other side stretches like that. This sort of gives us our torso. Our shoulders are both pointed upwards because of this pose. Let me just draw the contour of the body so it's easier to visualize. And then we're going to draw the idea of a leg. Something like that. Then I'm going to push it this way. Can add a bit of a cuff if I wanted to, not really required. And then following this one, just going to bring the leg back this way and maybe raise it up a bit. Again, the same thing if I wanted, so I can draw the calves, not really required. And then the arms. The shoulders come this way for both of them. And then the arms, they turn outside, I know that. So here's the arm. And here's the other arm. That's the Frankie pose. I do not really care about proportions. I mean, I do care, but like Frankie is a fucking cyborg with torso this big and legs this small, so it's not that necessary in this example. Same with his hands. But this is basically the idea. Now what I can do is I can, instead of, because I didn't think of these as like outside outlines, I can build a bigger frame. So I can assume that Frankie's body is maybe something like this. That's his body. I can build his pelvis to be like comically smaller compared to his body, and then his legs sort of come out of here. Same with his arms, like he has huge, I don't know if they're square or cylinders, I guess both. He has like huge something in his arms like that. I don't know, I'm drawing from imagination, so it's not really accurate, but I don't know if there's a cube or a cylinder. Let's do cube here or a cylinder here. Something like that for his hands, and then let's make his neck like comically small. So, and then the arm would attach like so here and so here. But you can see this is the stretch that is being created, and this is the pinch that is being created. And then if we wanted to, we can draw his pecs like here, the bottom of his neck, the rib cage. Yeah, you get the idea. And maybe his abs, like, I don't know how to draw abs. Yep, something like that. And then his Frankie boxers. He also likes to yell a lot, so give him a bit of that mouth. Yeah, so I just checked, and apparently he has like circles for elbows, and then his forearms are like this. So, and he has gloves in his other hand, so they go like that. I love Frankie. Everybody does, I think. That is the basic, like, my approach. So you would have a head, three parts of the spine, this one, this one, this one, and then here's the pinch, here's the stretch, and then I would draw like hips of some sort, and then I would draw the abstraction of the leg. I can draw calves if I want to give it a bit of shape, but most times it's not even required. And then the other leg would try to keep it here. Something like that. And then if I wanted to add a bit more detail, I would add like wrapping lines for the direction. It depends like how fast I'm doing my gestures, but if it's like a 30-second gesture, it's pretty much done. If I wanted to add a bit more detail, I would shade them, kind of like how you would shade a cylinder. So if I wanted to add just a bit more detail, I would just shade it. That's pretty much it, and I've been doing this to like almost any image that I can find on Pinterest. Just going to Pinterest, looking at a picture, and then just drawing the gesture. Let me show you a few examples here. So here is where I started doing gesture drawing. I don't know what it's called, contrapposto or something like that, where you do not draw like symmetrical lines, rather you draw asymmetry to show the flow. All I've been doing are like gestures. It's a bit of a mess, but you get the idea. It looks a bit messy, and I agree, it's a lot messy, not just a bit, but this was just me having fun. Like, I just love drawing these gestures. More gesture studies here. These are just fun. Like, I drew the gesture and then I added some details with the dress and other things. I'm still learning this. More gestures here. Yeah, that's about it. Let's talk about my references a bit. There are a few caveats. The first thing is I still quite struggle drawing gestures when somebody's wearing clothes. I mean, I just cannot tell where the pinch and fold is going to be, because if they wear like baggy clothes like so. The best references that I've found in Pinterest, because I work with Pinterest all the time, is if I Google for like dynamic poses slash some very dynamic movement activity. So things like ballet, dynamic poses gymnastics, dynamic poses running, athletics, dynamic poses like volleyball or something. And that's where I get the best references. I mean this very respectfully, but people in those sports, they wear like minimal clothes, so you can see the curves of their body a bit better. And that just helps with drawing anatomy or just gesture in general. So, and there was another tip that I learned from Instagram creator. And basically what he says is like, when we are using photographs for references, sometimes they turn out to be very stiff. But a great suggestion that he gave is to go to Pinterest and search for golden age illustrations. And that was like when drawings were made before photography or something. And apparently these drawings, they capture the dynamics, the gesture even better. The problem is, again, like I said, they wear clothes. And I can't stand clothes. Remove your clothes. So it's a bit hard. So those are my reference, and that is my gesture drawing practice. Amazing. I take like 30 seconds to a minute to make a gesture. The next step for me now would be to sort of take these gesture drawings and make them into proper figures. Now let's get to drawing some famous poses in pop culture. That's what I've been waiting to do. So since we're already done with Frankie, let's keep him aside. There are other like notable poses that I can think of. The one with Freddie Mercury. There's this album by Young Thug which is called Jeffrey. The funny ones I can think of are Daniel Defoe with his, I don't know, the one where he's like doing a split or something. Let's add some JoJo poses there because why not? Which one should we do? I really like the Killer Queen. We can do that. I also remember the Daniel Radcliffe with 2 guns where he's like, you know, that one. Let's just do this. If you also have more iconic pop poses that I missed, do let me know in the comments and I'll make a whole video about it. Why not? It sounds fun. Let's start with the Freddie Mercury one. So I have my head. Last one. Let's move on to the Jeffrey album. Yep, there we have it. Alright, let's move on. Next we have the Daniel Defoe. Alright, I don't even know how to attempt this, but let's try. We got the head. Honestly, I have no idea. So the neck kind of goes like that. Then it's extremely foreshortened, so that would be the pinch, that would be the stretch, I guess. You can't even see his pelvis, so I have no idea how to draw this. Huh. And the dude is staring straight into my soul. Maybe with like a bit of foreshortening techniques like this, perhaps we can draw the gesture better. I don't know, this feels a bit... Well, I do like the shape of the torso here, but I feel like this one has a bit more rhythm if I knew how to develop it a bit better. I'm not trying this pose again. Maybe I will, who knows. But this is really hard to draw. There you have it, the iconic Defoe pose. Oh no, what do we have next? We have the Killer Queen from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. The body works in mysterious ways, I suppose. For this I actually want to draw a center line, just so I know to not make the pose stiff. Yeah, that's about it. And then finally we have the Daniel Radcliffe with his weird guns. So we got the head. Why did I give him childbearing hips? What the fuck? What the fuck? He has fucking crickets, man. It kind of looks like horses' cloves or... What are they called again? Horses' hooves. Horses' cloves. Yikes. Yeah. This one sucks ass. Well, there you have it. Lessons from me. I need to practice my foreshortened poses more. And also how to draw fucking bent legs. Like, I do not want them looking like horses' hooves. Honestly, I've been having super fun with my poses. And I just wanted to, you know, make a video sharing my, I don't know, my happiness, my passion of gesture drawing. Hope you enjoyed this. Maybe you found it fun. Again, like always, I am always open to feedback. Thank you for checking out this video. Next video will be something special, so stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching this, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.